Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Friday the 16th. I won't start with the S&P. I can see that the markets are down. I haven't had a chance to look at the news to see if it was the jobless claims or the retail figures. I just sort of rolled out of bed like a Chinese factory worker. Yeah, I can see that the retail figures, they were expecting 0.2 and they're down at 0.6. So, well, they were expected to be lower, but obviously worse than expected. So there we go. So this is Apple, of course, and the daily chart. We'd been looking at Apple on the bearish side because we were under the closest largest number here, the 150, and we could see that there was resistance here. So we're looking for short trade setups. So all in all, if this count is correct, then this leg here should have some sort of equality to this leg over here. So we should be down here somewhere. Now the only mistake, I've got this as an A, B, C, D, and E here. Not so good on the D and E wave here, but still in 3 waves. So, but if I've made a mistake here, right, then the mistake will be that this is wave 1 over here. Okay, so I could probably even go wave 1 over here, but I'll leave it there for the moment. Let's just go 50, 10, and 5, and 1, and what's the name, and go in and just chat about this a bit further. So I don't think the 50 and the 10 are going to give us much here. They're not going to give us anything. Just go into the... So this is where we were sort of looking at this point. So yeah, well, this is, going to come down 4 and 5 and come down here low. It's not going to give me the distance to go down here, It's not going to get me down here where I need to go. Do a few things on the way. So that's not going to... Maybe, anyway, I'll just stay with it at the moment, but just to let you know that we may need to extend this down. Instead of having wave 1 and 2 here, we may need to bring this over here. So let's just keep going in anyway. I won't worry about 5. I'll just go into 1,000 ticks and 100 ticks. So yeah, we've been looking at 1 ABC for 2 and 1 and 2. I can't get it down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to that point. Anyway, from here I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be into the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th is going to be a bit lower, probably on the with the trading levels. The 130 is the top of minor group 1, okay, and then we've got 120 below that, okay. Now, coming into 130, we will have 1, 2, and 3 that make up subgroup 1 of minor group 1. So that you're going to get a bounce off that. That's the thing there, okay? So that's if you're looking for the biggest bounce, it's going to be around that 133 area there for that. But I'm just wondering if I've got this count wrong. It looks like a 4th wave. Smells like a 4th wave. Let's just go in here if I've done something different here. Looks not 200, 100. Get a bit more data. Let me double check that. All right, I see the issue. It was just about how you get these bloody spikes. I hate spikes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 1 and 2. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then back for 1 and 2. I just want to put this over here. That'll be something that I'll need to look at a bit closer. $38.2 came pretty much back up to the 61.8%. So I'm just going to dull that out a little bit as a as an alternative count, and it's just really for me at this stage, because I'll just see how that cookie crumbles a little bit later. It'll play out in the structure. I'll see it, but I think we're okay at this point with 1 and 2. A nice third wave isn't there here, so we can look for this third wave in here. 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to move this all out further, really. And the 130 down here is the larger number that we're going to head down into. So that's the top of minor group 1, if you know your trading levels. And then we'll have, we don't need some of these up here, do we? So I'm going to drag that down to in here at 127.20, should be 25, it doesn't really matter. That to there. 30, 33 roughly, and 31. That's all of subgroup 1 here, and then we can put the 5 in as the midpoint here, so that will also play out as well. And then minor group 1, that should be subgroup 2 there. That's where it is at the moment. And just for lessons on trading levels, this will be subgroup 1 here. I mean, they say that professional traders say that everything you need to know is in the price. But that's a bit of a loose statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've still got further to go here. What have we got here? 1, 2, 1, 2. So we look at all of that. I have to really put this over here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we should get a bump there somewhere. We'll get a bigger bump over here. Down. So if you're looking for a target in this first one, 128 to 130 would be about right. Okay, so that's Apple, and it's on its way, so that's good. Nvidia, yesterday I was looking for a top yesterday, as you know, but I just wasn't sure on how to calculate it in. But I've gone this way with 1, 2 in here, 3, 4, 5 here for 1. And 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5. Now I'll probably need to resolve that a bit further, but as far as the crow flies, we're looking down at an A and a B and a C wave down here. So fair way to go down. We'll just go into the 100 ticks. Netflix will be much the same as well in all of that. So okay, well that other one, the Apple one, I don't need to have that as the alternative count because I can see that I did the right thing, so I'm just going to remove that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm not quite sure about this, but if you wanted to keep your stops out of the way, keep them above the 38.2, so go to the 50 here. So 70, 74, 74, 74, or above the, then you need to go above the 75 at that point. Okay, but this should be basically the pathway here for this. Still need to come down further, so this is just not finished at this point. And Amazon, we've had that as wave 4 here. I was concerned that wave 4 could play out over here as well, because it wasn't really much of a wave 4 here, but then again, this wave 4 wasn't much either. What about the previous one? The previous one wasn't much either. Also, I need to do some fixing up there. Sorry about that. But apart from my mistakes further up there that you may have noticed, everything else is going pretty much according to plan. So we'll be looking down here as 1, 2, and then we'll get somewhere down here, we'll get 3 and 4 coming into play here. But that's still going to be too short for this one. I mean, this is going to be too short for this here. That's what I'm concerned about. But that's where the 85 is going to be with it. The two important numbers here are 85 and 88. Just a bit short. We should be down here on that. I'll give this some thought, but we can short this, but it'll be a bumpy ride trying to get through these lows here, right? So you'll need to leave your stop above the 90, so preferably above 90. Probably, I mean, there is safe, but it's a long way away at that point. You could probably get it a bit closer, 91.57 or something might be a bit better. Okay, anyway, I've said my piece there. There will be a bounce off here. I'll just give this a little bit more thought, but we're coming down a lot further because if you know Elliott, then we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, you know, so we should be, this is probably just 1 and 2 here, you know. I'll give that some thought, okay? Just leave that with me, but by all means short, leave the stop above the 9. It hasn't retested the 90 yet, and that's the normal thing to do as well, but it will drop a little bit further first. So 85 is here, and then you've got 88. So 88 is part of group 2. So 88 you'll have 86.50 is the other important number in here, the lower end of group 2. So just consider that as well. And then you've got 87.20, but the 86.50 is more important. So 85, 86.50 and 88, they're the numbers in that space. I'll just have a look at what I've done on 100 ticks. Oh no, I won't. I probably haven't done anything. Okay, so meta platforms. So I was getting a little bit worried about this because I had it as wave 4 here and I had a clear 5 waves here, and then I was looking at, can it be, you know, how else can I look at this? But it just didn't make a new high here, so just in the nick of time. So that's a pretty wild wave too. You don't see that very often where you have wave 1 down here, the A and the B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming so close to the top there. Maybe I've got that wrong, you know, maybe we need to look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is truncated as well. But anyway, the story goes so far is that we should be heading down now. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'll be this wave 2 over here. So this will be, I'm not sure if this is finished, but it's be pretty damn close here. So you can expect a wave 4, then a wave 5, and then an ABC pattern. So basically trying to short it anywhere around group 2 here would be good. Okay, but it's going to be a bit of a rough ride because even when you get that, it's going to be down there, it's going to come back and get you here and so on. You know, it's going to be, you're going to be stuck here for a while. So less is more, and just be patient with this one. It'll go when it needs to go. It'll go pick up speed over here. It'll be slow and methodical in here. So just you'll have to put up with that. But once it gets going, this will come down nicely through here. This is the one that you're looking for. So maybe we don't need to do anything in here just yet, you know. But just remember, whatever happens on Friday will pretty much follow through on the Monday, you know. Yeah, so Netflix, this is just the daily chart here. So From the bottom to the top here, this is the 61.8%. So we'll be looking for 5 waves in the A wave, then the B wave, of course, and then the C wave here. So that will be the pathway for this. We're on 100 ticks. We've broken that trend line now. Haven't really retested that. Let's just go from 1 day into 100. So yeah, a bit like Nvidia, really, a bit tricky to pull in the top, but we won't focus on that right now. We'll just focus on this. It's a pretty nice, clean sort of count coming down here. We've got wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and nice 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave here for the 3rd. Might be another little drop there, depending on if I should put that in there or there, but I'll just leave that there for the time. So basically, you know when something comes through a level, or go back and retest it. So that's what I do. Now, if I've made a mistake here, it'll come down to the 28. The 2280, which is minor group 2 here, by the way, and then retest the 3 and then go down. So if you wanted to split your bets up for the short here, because the trick here is that we are getting, it does look like we're in an impulse wave to the downside, well, we're not completely there yet. Be 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5 here, and then an ABC coming back up and testing it there, I guess. Probably done that a bit big there. This would probably stay within group 2 here. Give it another retest at that point, so I can just make that a bit smaller. So yeah, look, I can call in short trades for everything, but what I'll do is just really wait for this. I'll see what the markets look like. Is that really there? Yeah, I don't think I'm too far wrong, but if I am, that goes there, and there's one more low to come in here. But we're looking for this wave 3 here, so I'll just put this on here and here, and then we'll be looking for this ABC for the wave 4 here, and then down for wave 5. I don't even know if I was going to go back that far, really, because let's just check on the 38.2% retracement level here. Yeah, it can go back there, which is kind of good. It gives you that retest and that setup on that side. But just be mindful, this is the one here. So if we take this from here to here, and you can make the adjustment, I'm just taking to 72 here, that means we can end up back up here. Bring that down into here, because it'll probably just come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. I'm still sure I might need to also put this over here too. I might need to readjust this, but I'll do that. That's fine. So basically here, sorry about all of that, we should be seeing something like this here. We're still not at the A wave yet. So we need 5 waves to that A wave. I don't want to put the A wave here. It's too short at this point from what I can see that's going on with the rest of the markets. And you'll see that when we look at Microsoft and Google and so on. Okay, now Enphase here. I need to go back and have a look at something here. I need to explain something here, and I still need to do more work on this. So this is all the data I've got. And Enphase starting in 2013 here would be about right, okay? So or maybe they're there before that. I don't know. That sounds about right. So this move here is corrective. It's in 3 waves, okay? And then we've got this 5 waves down here. Now, what I don't know is what I've got to kind of figure out with the rest of the tech stocks and all the rest of it is figure out what this low is here, because this move up here pretty much counts as 5 waves. So that means that this move up here is either wave 1 and we come back for wave 2, or it's the 3rd wave up here and we come back for wave 4. So I need to check on a few things. I'm happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 rather than 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm happy with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I'm okay with this as 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th here. So I'm sort of happy with that. This sharp correction here bothers me a little bit, but it did alternate from being sideways to sharp. So, but anyway, 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the 3rd wave, and then we've got this. We're on log scale here. You can do that at primary degree, and the light blue ones here are primary degree. So, we've got an A wave, and we've got 5 waves here, and we've got 5 waves here. So we've got an A, B, C here, and so we've got a wave 4 here. So it's an expanded flat. So that makes sense at this point, 3 and 4. So that wave 1 and 2 here plays out as 3 and 4 over here. And then what we've been doing, we've been looking at this move up here in 5 waves. So we've been looking at it as wave 1 and 2, and then one bit missing here, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave here. So this is where we are. So we can be from wave 4 here going up to wave 5 here. Now, I don't know if we need to call that wave 1 or wave 3. If it's wave 3, then wave 4 comes in around the 220 area here, just to let you know. So that means it is possible for it to come down into 220 area and then push up from that point. But also too, because this wave 4 is 1 degree larger than this wave 4, and the size of this wave 4 was pretty big, then this one here could be pretty big. And technically they can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, but I think we'll go with the 38.2% at this point because we're on log scale here anyway. But and if we've got wave 1 up here, then we're going to come down deeper here. Now, obviously, we know the fundamentals for this technology is big, but we're also seeing nuclear fusion come in now as well. So there's a lot of changing technology, so things can change pretty rapidly. So bear that in mind as well. But look, we've been looking for a top here, and we've probably got a top in. I don't know how far it's going to come down. I don't know if we've got, I don't even know if this is another wave 5 on top. So instead of having one, it's either one, well, in the reality is either 1, 3 or 5, another big wave 5 up here. I don't know. I'll just have to see if I can figure out what the personality of the structure as it moves down. But I think the takeaway is that we're going to be moving down, unless proven otherwise. I think that's what we should expect unless proven otherwise. And we can see here that it's really been creeping up here with overlapping wave structures. And as you know, I found it a little bit tricky in this this little area here. So yeah, I think we've been working on 100 ticks, I think. So yeah, so now I need to change that to 5, and we'll need to look at this up here as Well, the truth is, I don't know yet. As 1, 3, or 5, really. That's the truth of the matter. So we'll start there and eliminate them one by one, and let's just see what we get. I mean, maybe I've got the whole thing wrong and we're still in a bull market, you know. We had spent a little bit of time working out the A wave, the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish off here, and it didn't make the high here. I'm thinking that what we can do here is, this is probably wave 1 and 2 in here and a third wave in here, so we're going to see a fourth and a fifth wave come down, and then we're going to see an ABC correction here. So if you wanted to get out, then this would be the area to do that, because if we get 5 here, then we're going to get another 5 over here for that. And then what we need to do is, if we can see, that could be an ABC and we could go up from there, okay, but we'll check, we'll do some work on that. But if we get another wave 4 across here, so to speak, and get another 5 waves down, then because of this 5 waves, we're going to get a correction in 3 waves over here, and then we're going to go down again at that point, you know. So there's things along the way that, because we get 5 here, you know, you're going to get another 5 over here. You can buy a bit of hope, and it just may be a corrective move at this point. But looking at Apple and that, I don't think that's the case. So yeah, anyway, they're the steps forward that we'll need, that you know, you can take action at any of these points, especially if you've got some long-term holds in here. You know, that's what I'm a bit concerned about. It could be a nice place to hedge at this point, you know, grab some options or some other derivatives or something or other, you know, and let's just see what we get at that point. Just push these over here because I'll need them. Didn't know they were there. So that's where we are at the moment. Oh, actually, what we need to do is put this over here as wave 1 over here, and put this as wave 2 over here. I'll need to adjust these, but we don't even need those there now, really. Because we've got 5 waves here, we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. But, you know, it's just buying hope, really. So I don't think that's the case. Well, anyway, we'll keep working on it. Tesla here. So we talked about, first of all, just want to clean up this. You may still be short in here and stuff, but we talked about taking profit at the 150. So hopefully you're out at this point. So we'll just sort of, if you're in there, you got to leave your stop above this situation, because we counted wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, bit dodgy down here, but say 1 at this point, and then the A wave, the B wave, I think. So we may just get a move to here and then go down again at this point. So maybe I've made a mistake and, you know, got us out. You know, I didn't know the markets are going to be that bearish as such right quick, but Tesla wasn't bearish. It already had the wind taken out of its sails. So, I mean, the A wave could still be up here with 1, 2, 3 going up here, but I don't think that's the case, because this particular move here is really too big for a wave 2, so it makes a nice B wave. And it's just waiting for the other markets, you know, like, say, Enphase here to kick back to wave 2 or wave 4 here for this. So, and all those other markets. So I think what we could do is we could bring this down here for the short here, and then we can look to build in under here as well. If that moves up here, then you can look to short here now as well. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. It's always a bit iffy if you've done the right thing, you know, but coming into a big number where you're going to get a bounce is the right thing to do, is to take, you know, a good chunk of the money off, if not all of it. But now we've got, looking at Apple, basically, we're looking at, you know, much further downside, then we can just get back in. I mean, this is the beautiful thing about trading, isn't it? It's not like a horse race. You know, you put your money on and the gates open, and then you got to sit there and have got no control whatsoever. You know, this is different. So that's your edge. So Alphabet here. So we're just looking on a daily chart here of a WXY down here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. So I think we're coming along quite nicely. Alphabet and Microsoft normally work quite closely together, but they're basically, Microsoft made another little high in here from this spiky business here, so we need to rearrange that a bit, but both of them are pretty much the same. It's possible that all of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up for 1, but this is the 61.8% here, so it would need to stop pretty much. We've got 1, 2 in here, 3, 4, and 5, so it would need to stop down here and then make a move from that point, you know, to go up at that stage. Otherwise, we're looking at further to the downside here. 1001. So I'll just check. I don't know what I've updated here. Oh yeah, this is sort of okay. Gives us a bit of a thing here. As you can see here, we've got basically going into the third wave, and we still need a fourth and fifth for this one. So we can short this over at the wave 2 before heading down lower here. But let's just take a closer look at that on the 100 tick chart. So we've got our reference point up here, wave B. I did change this. I had this in blue yesterday, so I put it, just upgraded it to 1 degree higher. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what I was thinking about, that other one way back there. Sorry, just talking to myself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. I could probably play that out. No, that's about right, I think. And let's look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pushing it a bit, isn't it? I'll check on that anyway. It won't make too much difference. We're working with 90, so we're going to see a classic trading levels pattern across here. We've got this 4 and 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 over here. So it's this wave 2 that we're looking for. So obviously this wave 2 can pull back up, you know, 61.8%. So we'll need to be a little bit mindful of that, because it could pull back way back up here for that. I don't think it's the case. When you're working around large numbers, the market tends to, you know, larger numbers are magnets, and they tend to grab hold of it and not let it go too far. So when this wave 4 comes in, it should go back to this wave 4. It could do that, and that's be interesting to watch. If it doesn't make it back there, then you know the magnet's strong. And then when it goes down here, where it should have, you know, a nice length down here, it might just, you know, go to the 88 a little bit shorter, and then we get, you know, then we're back here again, and it could be just a play across this level before going down. Do you know what I mean? So we'll just see how much sticking juice it's got before we before making any decisions. But the short trade should come from here, and we could probably get pretty close to that in the next session once we can see the behavior of personality of the market up against this 90 here. Yeah, so if this is not bearish, right, then this would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point here. Then would go up from that point. So shorting the wave 2 and the B wave here would be, you know, would be the way to go forward if you can figure that out at the point. Shouldn't be too difficult because it's got nice form. It's a bit tricky in here. I understand that. I mean, you can struggle with that. You got to kind of, you know, do a double look at it and blink a few times to make sure that you're looking at the right thing and so on. But the thing I think I think we're in the third wave, because you can see how the speed of it. So this is this is the speed of this here. If that was an A wave, then it would be sharper than this, and this one here so far is, I can just take it from, that this is faster than this, isn't it, So this C wave is normally lazier than the A wave, and the A wave is normally sharp. So the personality of the structure is telling me that we're in the third wave coming down. So that's good. So we can use the 90 to build on. So if it rallies up here, if you're going to risk, if you're trading, you really need a $30,000 account. I mean, if you're professional, you're sure you can get away with 5,000 or 10,000 and build an account. But, if you're risking your 1% and you've got your 30,000, you've got your $300 and those sort of things, well, then you can split that, between group one here and then below the level, I mean, I like doing that. I like having, half a dozen positions in there to manage the risk in the early stages of things. Okay, but everybody's different. Like I said, I'm a bit of a scaredy cat when I've got to put money in, hard-earned spondoolies in. Money's a funny thing, isn't it? We either think of it, I mean, especially in today's world, it's sort of like, not that I have a lot of it or anything, but I see people with a lot of it, and it's just like, I don't know, it's not like the old days where every pence and pound was really important. It's just sort of like water now. Anyway, Microsoft, yeah, it made that extra high here, but I'm going to stay with this here. Now, obviously it hasn't moved down a lot here. So what we do here is we just really look for the short trade setup here on the short side. So if I was trading this here, I would have, look, if I was bullish here, I could make a mistake. I could say to myself, we got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, don't have an ABC here, it's not really there. But even if I did go long here, right, as soon as this is breached here, then I'd be out of it at that point. But I'd be looking for the first high above the level, so I would be there at this point. That's where my long trade would be. And then I'd be looking down here for some sort of A, B, and C wave coming down here on the long side. And then I would be looking for putting my next long trade over here for that. Right, so that's what I'll be doing on the long side, and we will do that. We'll look at that just in case I made a terrible mistake and it is wave one up there. If we're going to go short, we need to know what the long side is. But this is where we would go long. Okay, just to point that out. And but what we need to do is we also need to look at the short side here now. So. With the short side, we're looking for 5 waves coming down here. So there's a couple of things we can do. We can basically go 1, 2, 3. There'll be 4 and 5. So we'll have that first leg down here, and then we'll have the second leg here. We're not going to go long on that. Just that at that point, we'll just put that long trade on top, and then we'll have this to come down. So if this was some sort of 5 waves up, there would get some pullback to, see all these open and closes. They're always a bit of a classic for support. So yeah, we could go up from that point and we would go long above there. That's what we would do. So we just putting on our trader's hat and sacking the analyst. And then on this side here would have 3 waves down. So anything under that we can go short. And we'd still end up down here if that's the case. So it's not such a bad thing, is it? So, but then what we can do, we can say, well, okay, can we do any better than that? And yeah, we can. We can, when this rallies back up here, this rally here will be in 3 waves, right? So it will be something like this. We'll check it out. So that means that we could take some risk now. We could say, okay, well, we can short under the B wave. That will tell us, if we've got 5 waves here, then we'll get an ABC here. We can short on the B wave. Now we can also short in this, if we get 5 waves here, then we can short at the 50-60% retracement level here as well. So these are the places where we don't need to put full trades in, because we're not a full quid at this point. We don't know, we're you know, going short here. We know, because we've got 5 here, we can short here. We know we're going to get down here somewhere, so we just have to manage that risk in this turn here, you know. So we can put riskier trades on here, but they just need to be smaller trades in this area. That's all. So we can do stuff like that. So that's basically how we'll be looking at a lot of this bear market stuff next. Are we on 100 ticks here for this? Maybe. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So we were looking for a top here yesterday as well. So with Nvidia, Netflix, and Microsoft, I thought they might get one more little top up here. We didn't get that. So I made mistakes, but that's the way it is. So at this point here, we're looking down for those 5 waves that I talked about. So wave 1 and 2 into here. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and the correction, then 1 and 2. I mean, this would have been the perfect place to do it. You know, but I wasn't there. But it's okay to talk about hindsight, you know, because you note those 5 waves here. You know, you could have looked at, try to find the ABC in here, which would have been down here further, but this will be 5 waves as well. But anyway, that's not the case, but just it's okay to, hindsight's good, long as there's lessons there. So here we've got 1, 2, 3 to here or to here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got this 3rd wave here, this 4th wave. So in this case, we still got some building here to do. We still got this to play out here. So what we really want is this one over here, this one here, right? So let's just put in some so once this lows in here, right, then we can look at this as 5 waves down, wherever that may be. And then we can look at the, well, that's the 61.8, 65% and 61.8% and 50%. So we can come, oops, daisy, we can come into this space over here. Now that 50, 60%, we could also lower this down here a little bit as well, right? So now that you know that, we can just look at that and put that on the green side. Because that's a position where you can get one position in there, do you know? And then under the B wave here, you can also look to get a position as well on this point. You can also use the trading levels as well. So there'll be a classic trading levels pattern here as well. So when this comes up to here, it will also come back again, and it'll give you some type of thing in here as well that you can put in. So here's like 1, 2, 3 trades, and they're all important trades because these are positions that you can put a stop in, you know. So at this stage, you could just leave your stop up here for any of these moves. That would be pretty safe at that point. Anyway, this is pretty much like all of the markets that we're looking at the moment. Okay, so I'm just doing one example there for that. And this is Berkshire Hathaway here. So I also made a mistake at the top here as well. I should have stuck with my original one, which was wave 5 in here. Just looked like a C wave in here though. But anyway, it looks like it's wave 1 and 2 here. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, you know, if you wanted to short this, then we'll need to just, that's going to come down here a little bit. I think that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're going to get down here a bit lower. So we want a decent low here first, and then look at this point. We want that number, because it's such a strong stock, we need that number there as the resistance here. Yeah, I don't want to particularly short this. I'll just leave this off the table for a bit unless I can see the setup there for myself. We might need to wait for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, do you know, as 1 and 2 and some sort of 3, 4, 5 here, and then the correction in 3 waves, and then down at that point. So I think we'll just give this one a little bit more time. Let's just see how this one plays out a bit further. I mean, it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and further move to the downside, but that's that. And block here, yesterday, we've been looking at this in two different ways, bullish and bearish, but the bearish was the sort of the dominant one here, but it's still not proven either. But we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. I also got this little top wrong as well. I was in two minds about it. Yeah, well, it's on its way now, isn't it? And you can see that we've got 1 and 2 and 1, 2 gap in the third wave here. So there'll be some sort of fourth in here to here, like 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, and then the 5 down to here. So we've got the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave. So we want this one over here. So once that low becomes, look, it'll probably come down to here. It'll probably, well, it may not now, but anyway, we still need wave 4 here somewhere that could pull back to one of these wave 4s. Then a poke down here, which will be, if the extension's in wave 3, then wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same, and then we'll have some sort of ABC correction over here. And so, you know, you can short this box over here. You can short, you know, under here as well, all of those. Same thing we just talked about before, do you know? And they don't have to be big positions. They can just be, you know, they can just be small positions. And, you know, as you're coming down here, because if we get 5 here, then we're going to be down here further. So, you know, there's other ways to build in there. But if you, I like to get like 2 positions at least. If I'm going long, I like to get 2 positions below the level and then build on above the level. But in this case, we get two positions above the level here and then start to build in positions over here. You know, having 4 positions in a trend, you know, earlier the better, basically, then that's the go. But obviously you can have many more. I can quite easily build in 20 positions, especially in derivatives, but that's a different thing. Here with BAC, what we need to do here is we were looking for wave 2 to be back up here somewhere at the 61.8%. I don't think that's the case. I think we're down here somewhere now for this. I will check on this tomorrow. It's not going to go very far because the 30 is going to be a bit of a door stopper here. So I'll do some bit of work on this and we'll see if I'm right. But otherwise, this will be, might need to be the wave 4 here. And then we'll go down for the wave 5 and have a rally back up. I'm not quite sure just yet, but we'll just keep a bit of an, I'll just copy this and put this over here. Might end up, we'll see where the other banks are. So that's on 10,000 ticks. This is Goldman's here on 10 ticks. So gone from 10,000 to 10 ticks. So this is the top for Goldilocks. And this down here, we've been counting down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back here, wasn't sure about the wave 2. Just didn't have the rest of the market behind me at that time. You know, I was out there by myself. So, yeah, so we can put this as wave 2 here. Still a bit short here, really, if I look at it. So if I take this distance here, for example, then for wave 3 here, we need to be longer than that. But yeah, we may get there. It just seems a bit short. This will be 1, 2, 3. So it'll be down here somewhere. Yeah, might get a bit more here. Just feels a bit short to be here. We can readjust it anyway. So if you're going to put a position into these markets, then look at the top here and here, even though that doesn't mean anything at this point. So you need to leave your stop above the, you know, 61. So your stops need to be above the 365 at this point. Don't put them on 365, but they need to be above that somewhere. I mean, technically this wave 3 should be much further down, you know. If I take this to, that's the length of wave 1 here, right? So then we just grab that there and put that onto wave 2 here, right? And that brings us down here. So this wave 3 should be down here for this. But it seems a bit long, you know. I don't know if I can put wave 1 here in that case. Anyway, short, not long. And chase here. So I did have wave 5 there. I just didn't have a lot of confidence in this wave 1 here, but we're sort of really moving along now with all of this. So it looks like we've got 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that belongs to that. So there'll be 4, 5, 4, and 5 here, and then there'll be a move back up here. So it'll be something like that here before this leg goes down. So if we look at this as being 1 and 2 here, just for the moment. And then we can look at this being 1 and 2 here, and this will be well, 1, 2. That will be 1, 2 there. Just lost the plot there. I had it and then I lost it. That's where the plot went. But that's too small as well. That's too small for a third wave. So probably we'll end up maybe I'll go the other way and go this way. Put this as wave 1 here and 2 here. Anyway, I'll figure that out. But if we think about it this way, this move down here, if we were wrong, which wouldn't be the first time or the last time, but if that's the case there, that would be the A, the B, and the C wave here. So if you're concerned about this, after we get these 5 waves here, anything under that is good to go. So that's the safer trade at this point. So we'll do some more work on that, but that's that. Alrighty, that's it. Sorry for such a long video. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the weekend. Cheers.